The path to leadership should not be through, basically MBA business school situation. It's like it should be kind of work your way up, do useful things, and there's a bit too much of somebody goes to a high-profile MBA school and then kind of parachutes in as the leader, but they don't actually know how things work. They could be good at, say, PowerPoint presentations or something like that, and they can present well, but they don't actually know how things work. They parachute in instead of like working their way up.
They never went through an apprenticeship, for lack of a better word.
They're kind of like just not aware of what's really needed for to make great products. People look at MBA school as like, I want to parachute into being the boss instead of earning it, and like I don't think that's good.
Let's talk a little more on innovation in corporate America in general. Innovation has always been core to who you are. It's how you think about your companies and your role. In the corporate suite in America, are companies in general fostering and developing innovation? And as the leaders in corporate America, you've got a lot of them on this call. Do we prioritize innovation as much as we might or need to, do you think, right now?
Well, I think there's innovation, but then there's also just our CEOs in corporate America focus enough on product improvement? I think the answer is no. And I think generally my advice or my recommendation would really be spend less time on finance, spend less time in conference rooms, and more time just trying to make your product as amazing as possible.
Why is that? Why is that a problem in the C-suite?
I think there might be too many MBAs running companies. There's the MBAization of America, which I think is maybe not that great. There should be more focus on the product, the service itself, less time on board meetings, less time on financials. The financials come as a result of, like you say, like, what's the point of a company at all? And why even have companies? It's like a company is an assembly of people gathered together to create a product or service and deliver that product or service. And sometimes people lose sight of that. A company has no value in and of itself. It only has value to the degree that it is an effective allocator of resources to create goods and services that are of greater value than the cost of the inputs. This thing we call profit is should just mean over time that the value of the output is worth more than the inputs.
So if the product is good, presumably the profits follow rather than profits being involved versus profits. And
yeah, sometimes people sort of have it backwards, and if people are getting sort of the incentive structure is coming from the financial side of things. I don't know. I just earnestly would recommend to anyone listening that just spend less time in meeting rooms, less time on a spreadsheet, and more time on the factory floor, more time with customers. And obviously, a lot of people out there are already doing that. But I would just urge people to say, like, hey, step back a second and say, is your product as awesome as it could be? Probably not. What could you do to make it great? And if you like think about innovation, like maybe it has to be like breakthrough innovation. I don't think it necessarily has to be breakthrough innovation. It's just just make your product better. This is the thing that really matters.